Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another season of Spine Chill. This is season 7, with a grand premiere. Today, I, John Wolf, am joined by my co-host, Gary the Hot Cross.
Hello, everybody.
Otherwise known as The Hot, Cross.
Which we'll get to in a bit, I'm sure.
And we're thrilled to be bringing back our favorite guest for the 7th time in a row, Doug Running Man. Is also here.
Oh my God, John the Hot, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to join you again here for season 7. What a premiere this is gonna be. Oh man, feel lucky to be included. Feel lucky to be included.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, G-Man. So today we have a great show for all of you out there. We're gonna be talking about some DBD. We had a big DBD event this past weekend, Light in the Fog. We're going to be doing a quick recap on that. We've got some Evil Dead talk, some Texas Chainsaw news, and the brand new asymmetrical game, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, just came out this past week. And Doug and Gary have played the absolute hell out of it. And so we're going to have a big old section at the end where we talk all things Ghostbusters.
Very excited for that.
John, have you forgotten VHS?
Well, so has everyone else.
And that's the VHS segment.
Yeah, we've done that. We've covered VHS now.
We covered VHS. There's nothing new to report on the VHS side, but that's okay. You know,
not
everybody has something new in their game every week, so
no,
a month or even a full release. Sorry.
Gary has some spicy opinions.
Claws out today for the Hot. Oh my God.
For the Hot. The Hot has some hot opinions for sure.
Should we start with Dead by Daylight?
Sure.
Should we talk about Light in the Fog?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So this past weekend, Gary, me, and Doug were all heavily involved in the Light in the Fog Dead by Daylight tournament, which was the second annual Light in the Fog, and it was to benefit a very well-known, much-loved Dead by Daylight streamer, Max, otherwise known as Puppers, who is fighting terminal ALS, and we all put this tournament together to raise money for him. And how much money was raised actually over the weekend?
Over 100,000, right, Doug?
Yeah, $103,000 was raised total.
$103,000.
So what's great about that and what's amazing is that last year's event brought in over 170,000. So between the two events, we're over $250,000 raised for Max's fight against ALS, which is incredible. It's such a huge help for him, such a huge help for his caretaker, the whole situation. It's just, you gotta get me emotional. I keep talking about it too much. I've been, obviously that was like my whole weekend was Light in the Fog. I was one of the producers, administrators. I was there for every moment of that event. I was there for, and just to see like the collective outpouring of support and enthusiasm, and it was just, there's just nothing. I don't think DBD's ever seen anything like it, and I don't know that they'll ever see anything like it again. Like, just to be able to bring together, it's like over 510 of the biggest and brightest content creators in the DVD directory, all touched by Max, all wanting to support Max. Is just I can't say enough good things about the administration team and every single person who was involved in the event. However, whatever way they were involved in it. It really is touching.
Yeah, it's really nice being able to see like the entire community come together for a good cause, and like it's because like I feel like the Dead by Daylight community gets like a lot of grief from everyone, be like, it's so toxic, and then something like this happens. It's just like, we just forget that it's full of like lovely human beings that care about each other, and I don't know. I wish people focused more on that sometimes, because it's a really nice thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. It was a 4-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of people involved on the production side. They all did an amazing job. Little Rugard in particular was a computer running on fumes and everything, but trucking through and bringing a great show to everybody. That was amazing. But it was a great event, not only to play in. I think all three of us played in separate sets, but Gary and I also got to do a little commentary over the weekend.
That was really fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
a great co-host.
I had a great co-host.
Mine was better.
I don't know about that. Actually, that's possible, Gary.
It was a
First
lot
we
of fun
co-host-
though. Yeah.
We co-host the podcast, and then we co-commentate the matches. That was really fun. We had 2 great groups too. Like, one of them we were really familiar with. Like, we had friends on like Linksy and King, and we knew people on that one. And then another one, and this is another great thing about Light in the Fog. Like, I got to watch people that I haven't really like seen much of, like
Griff
Sophorex and
Rex.
Samahel, and Griff, and that was like both of those sets were really awesome. I think the gameplay just in general was really fun to watch all weekend. So,
well, that's just it too. You maybe never really had a lot of interactions or experiences with your group when you talk about Sofa and Sama and Griff, and then they went out there and put on just this incredible, entertaining show and like just endeared themselves to everybody. And you're just like, okay, now I do know these people, and now I want to know these people, and that's just one of the great things about Light in the Fog. I think is. Every year, we've done it 2 years in a row now. I've ended up like, I feel like, John, you and I like met for the first time, I think, around Light in the Fog last year.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
Well, that's when I met you, Doug, was just before like that event was a thing. Like that's when I was, this nice event was what made me go, I want to say hello to more of the community, because I was kind of hidden away. And
that's just what I mean. Like, obviously the reason we were there, the goal was to, raise money and help Max in his fight for ALS. But then like one of the fringe benefits is that you bring the community closer together in people that maybe wouldn't have crossed paths any other way, or end up crossing paths and can end up, forging, friendships, relationships, and makes the community a stronger and better place.
Yeah.
Really, it's awesome. Just awesome, man. I don't know, I'm going to get all sappy about it. It's just really awesome.
But yeah, I totally agree with like this weird perception that DBD is somehow a toxic game. I think it just has that reputation because it's not like a lot of other games out there. There is like a defenseless party involved, right? Yeah. But I think overall, I've been really impressed with the community over the past 3 years that I've been streaming the game, because I came in kind of late, and I'd heard all those things before. As someone who didn't really play it, I'd heard all those things about like, oh, you don't want to play Dead by Daylight. They're so toxic over there. One of the most toxic player bases ever. And I have not really had that experience at all. And this is one of the main showcases of the opposite of that, Yeah. So.
John, I do want to thank you, John, for pointing out the defenseless, us killer mains, the defenseless community. I appreciate that. I feel really seen and really heard now. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, whenever I play killer, I just feel so powerless against these Swifts. They're just, they're bullies, holding me hostage in the game.
Bullies, I feel like, yeah.
The power
I report
roll,
them after every match. Yeah, the true power roll.
Survivors are the real killers. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
It was a great time. Great time. Did we want to maybe like touch on some of our favorite moments? Or
I thought that would be quite a nice thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very briefly.
I mean, I can say mine.
Yeah,
well, I only had like one goal in my set, which was to get a couple head-ons, which I did. I got a head-on McLean, former behavior employee who was playing Hillbilly, which I was amazed. I was like, yeah, when it happened, and then I felt kind of bad because I just went out the exit. But I also got a head-on a nurse that was nice, and I got a Sabo play and a flashlight blind. So I was like, that's all I wanted, Just wanted some cool plays like that, and I was happy I got those.
I think in my set, my favorite moment, which I'm already kind of, I sandbagged Sinnoh and got him murdered at the exit door, which was like my personal favorite moment. Was just, it was just so perfect. All the planets aligned, and I just got to like get him murdered. It made me so happy.
Chat was losing their minds. I was in chat when that was happening. So let me set the scene for anyone who wasn't there.
Paint me a picture.
I was on the ground. I was on the ground for this one. So Hybrid Panda, great streamer, by the way. Great Dead by Daylight content.
Fantastic bean.
Fantastic guy. Playing Huntress. Gary and our pal Sinnoh, who guested on season 2, still alive. The only people alive, mind you, because Hybrid Panda had murdered everyone else. They come into the exit gate. Gary and Sinnoh crouching down the exit gate. They're on their way out. Suddenly, Panda hits a hatchet, down Sinnoh. Sinnoh thinks, that's fine, I'll just crawl out.
No, you've missed a bit. Sinnoh was not downed, he was injured.
He was injured. Oh.
Yeah, he was, the hatchet came down.
I can come in and even feed it a little more because this was one of my. This is probably what I would pick as my favorite overall moment of the whole tournament. Is because Sinnoh was walking. He was walking out injured, and Gary was walking out injured next to him. And as they get to the exit gate, Gary just stops and heals him real quick to stop him in place. And then Hybrid hits him with the hatchet, and then Gary runs out and leaves him on the ground. Like he just like froze him because they were just both slow walking out. Like
I remember
the ultimate sandbag.
I remember Sinnoh going down on the ground, but Hybrid was too far away to pick him up. And I remember Gary healing him on the ground and keeping him there.
No. I held him.
Is that not what happened?
No, it was like we were both like crouching out. And
it was way more nefarious than that.
A hatchet came flying by, hit Sinnoh, and as we carried on like crouching out, because Sinnoh was like, "Oh, get out!" I just started healing him, and it paused him, and then he got M1'd, went to the ground. I ran out.
Okay, that's what happened.
and then Panda absolutely giving the people what they want: instant picks and hooks.
Instantly.
Like, nope, you're not.
Instantly picked him up. That
Your
was great.
team chose death.
Oh, made me so happy.
That was a great moment.
Go, Doug. No, go.
Just to say, my favorite moment from my set, hands down, was when Sister Karen was playing Hillbilly. And if you guys don't know, or if your people aren't familiar with Sister Karen, she's a fantastic content creator, super human. Like, she's amazing. She plays Hillbilly, and mains Hillbilly, and she's so dedicated to her chainsaw that she unbound her M1 key at one point, so she could never use her M1. She could only use her chainsaw. She's just like a chainsaw only Hillbilly. Right? And so we come to the end of the match. It looks as if Karen's letting us all go. And Karen, as I'm running out, I was walking out, runs up to me, slaps me with an M1. No one escapes death is equipped. She brought Noed specifically to down me with a Noed and throw me on the hook. And then it was so funny. And it was funny because she had told me ahead of time, I think I should have everybody run Noed just because you're in the tournament. And I was like, no one's going to run Noed just because I love Noed. And well, Karen sure as hell.
That's really funny.
I also really enjoyed when you played Bubba, Doug, with Save the Best for Last. When you were
Save the Best for Last?
M1 Bubba.
Coup de grace? Sloppy Butcher?
No, I mean, I'm glad you appreciated it because my team didn't realize I had saved the best for last till they were leaving the game. They're like, "Oh, he's got Stabiffle." I was like, "That was the whole build, you guys."
I just really enjoyed when you were just trying to do the Bubba copter, and you were like, you picked someone and just spinning him around as he fell down.
Well, no, Toki brought a boil over build. She brought a boil over, but she's running upstairs like doing the Swift Rat play where you run upstairs like, "Ooh, you'll never hook me," and I'm like, "Guess what? I don't want to. I'm just gonna helicopter you instead." And it was really fun. Yeah. We had a great set. It was
your games were really entertaining. Your whole set was great.
Fun. Yeah,
I think you chainsawed on every single hook that you got. You chainsawed them on hooks.
Oh yeah, that's what I told them. I told them that too. I was like, 8 hooks and 8 gratuitous hook BMs, but no kills. I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to kill anyone. I just have
right.
to.
Of course not. Of course not.
Get my. There's people out there in the DVD community that think that the game should be based around hooks, and I'd take it one further and say I think the game should be based around hook BMs. That should be the scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really see how the game could be based around hooks. I think there's a lot of really good arguments against that.
Yeah, maybe we'll save that for another episode.
That is a discussion I'd be down to have, though, because I have opinions.
Yeah. Well, I've been listening to this one streamer that's been saying the opposite of that for like years, and I have to say I agree with them.
Oh, that'll be an interesting discussion then, because I think I lean towards hooks, but I haven't thought about it enough.
Well, you're a Survivor main, Gary, so that's not a surprise. Okay.
I 12 hooks a day. Just saying.
That's impossible. I don't believe you.
You 12
you were there watching me.
Well, obviously you're a high MMR killer main now. That's what you did was near impossible.
Well, it's either that or you were cheating. Impossible to 12 hook in the state that the game is in. So it's the most Survivor side it's ever been.
Is there people that believe that?
The 61%? Isn't that the kill rate? Anyways, can we...
Should be higher.
I don't think there's much else to talk about with Dead by Daylight at the moment, with the rift still going on.
No, I mean, we got the holiday event, the Halloween event, the Halloween tome. I think it lasts for another, as of this
like another week left,
I think it's like 9 days total.
Yeah.
I think that the rumor is, and I haven't had anything confirmed, but I think the rumor is November 1st on the PTB for the next killer.
Oh,
so it's like right around the corner, guys.
That came around so quickly.
I know it did. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's so much else going on in the category. Like horror asym is like having this big. There's like we got tons of games to talk about, right?
Yeah,
so
like I spent a whole week just playing Ghostbusters. So
yeah, same, right? And so if we end up, you take flash forward or flashback a year ago, we really only have DVD to think and talk about. So we're like, man, when is this next chapter coming?
Yeah,
right? But now it's like at this point, I've got so much going on. It's like, man, can we bump it back a week? Like this.
It's a bit too much going on. Like,
yeah.
It's kind of fun though. It's kind of fun having this much happening.
I
sure.
love it. I could talk all day about how much I love this. But...
Good thing we've got all these asymmetricals to talk about.
Because then that way we can.
It's content for us.
Create a podcast.
Being the number one asymmetrical horror podcast.
Are you talking about Spine Chill? The number one video game podcast in Romania?
Yep. And you saved it for the podcast. I appreciate that, boys. So the long story short, I think the rumor is that it's November 1st for the PTV.
That's
so
exciting.
When that's confirmed, obviously it'll be confirmed. But it follows the.
It makes sense because it's been a while since Wesker's been out, right?
Yeah. God, it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, August is when.
Trying to
Wesker
remember the
came out.
game before Wesker is weird. I mean, because there's just so
Dredge,
many
right?
Weskers. Yeah, they're always there.
Well, and it added 9 new perks, 2 new survivors too. That was a big addition to the game. So
huge chapter.
Yeah. Wow, that's enough about you, DVD. We got better things to talk about.
I would like to briefly mention some exciting Texas Chainsaw news. It's only a very brief thing because I've been following it quite a lot because I'm so excited for that game, as we all are. But they've actually announced 2 new killers, 2 original killers. Their
original characters.
Yeah, Sissy and Johnny, 2 new families of 2 new members of the Slaughter family, and they've been developed by Gun Interactive, obviously, and in cooperation with Kim Henkel, I want to get the name right, the original screenwriter of the original movie, which I think is so exciting because that means they're going to fit the world, and also we've got original characters. That means like it's not just going to be what we know. That means it's limitless. We could be getting DLC updates, new killers, new everything for.
Yeah,
I'm so excited about that. That's the main thing I want to hear about is like the because Evil Dead. We'll talk about Evil Dead a bit later, but.
I'm looking at pictures of the new characters. So
they look cool. They look so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Evil Dead has this ceiling of like I think it's just kind of I don't know if it's just sticking with the IP. I know there's a lot of new IP coming for it because they've got the new TV show right and stuff.
Right.
And the new movie. But like if Texas Chainsaw is like we'll just make new characters whenever we want them. That's awesome.
I mean that's basically what they did with Friday, right? Like they were just churning out these characters that were. Like, some of them were loosely based on characters in the F-13 films, but they were, by all means, original, so...
Yeah. They had a few that were straight up from the movies. Foxy was in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did have their own originals as well.
And I can't help but get excited at the idea of Texas Chainsaw. You know how Dead by Daylight's got, like, brings in other horror franchises? I would love to see... The style of gameplay that I've seen in all the trailers and stuff, I'd love to see some other... iconic killers in that if they could do that.
Yeah, right.
Specifically, I'd love to see OG Freddy. That would be.
That's gonna be tough.
You don't want Bubba versus Chucky, bro.
You know what? Texas Chainsaw's like Chucky wouldn't work in DVD for so many reasons we're not gonna get into, but Chucky could work for Texas Chainsaw, actually. But I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I feel like it's that's just me being very big dream. Yeah, I just love the gameplay loops look so good.
Oh yeah.
No,
absolutely. I remember when Friday the 13th and DBD were kind of more rivals. Like it was when Friday the 13th was actively being developed, and it was before DBD started doing all this crazy license stuff. Like I remember when they added Mike Myers and DBD, and then I remember thinking like, oh man, Friday's gonna have to like respond to this. It would be great if they could get Freddy in their game.
Because Freddy versus Jason, obviously.
Freddy versus Jason, exactly. And I was like, why aren't they
together,
doing that? Because otherwise it's just gonna be Jason. And the next thing I knew, DBD had Freddy, and I was like, oh, it's over.
That was them losing.
Stick a fork in them.
Friday the 13th.
No Freddy versus Jason DLC. Game's dead.
Right, yeah.
We'll still have the movie.
No,
unfortunately.
I like the movie.
I actually haven't seen it.
Oh, Freddy vs. Jason's pretty good.
No, it's actually it's better than you think it's gonna be. I promise you.
It's a lot of fun, but also
like it's It's very true to the two canons, but like it also ties them together. It's really good.
Yeah.
Trust. It's not.
I would recommend.
It's not going to win any Academy Awards, but it's a very fun movie.
I just remember the soundtrack, the Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack
back in the day.
Banging.
Yeah, Killswitch Engage and Hatebreed, Slipknot, Il Nino, Seven Dust, Powerman 5000 back in the day. Woo.
Yeah. I know what I'm listening to at the gym now. Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack.
yeah.
Good time to get jacked, dude.
Right.
But I think that's it for Texas Chainsaw. It's not like they haven't announced anything else. They've been like going through their character cards and stuff, but I'm keeping a keen eye on it. So
I wonder when we're gonna get the game. Do you guys want to? You just really briefly speculate. What do you think? Because they originally it was Q4 2022 was the release window, and they pushed it back. Like, how hard do you think they're pushing it back? Because to me, like seeing what they're like releasing and seeing how aggressively they're talking about things, it feels like it's gonna be soon, right?
I feel like it's gonna be
Q1.
Yeah,
Q1 2023. Yeah.
Like Q2 would be a push. So. Like if that would be a late one for it. But I think it looks like they're giving out playable demos to journalists and stuff, aren't they, to play it and review it? So it's like they're building up as you're meant to. They're building up the anticipation.
But I mean, to be fair, hasn't RE-verse been in playable form for years now? Like,
we'll talk about that at some point because the game isn't it playable now?
It's out, I think.
We don't need to talk about Reverse because it's not an asymmetrical game.
True. Right. True. Sorry, I'm sorry for taking us off track.
But I would like.
I just wanted to take it.
I would like to talk about it as the what would you say? The one that took over from Resistance,
which was an asymmetrical game.
Because they killed Resident Evil Resistance for Reverse, and I would like to play it and to know why.
Did you not play the closed beta? That was
no. I haven't played it at all. I remember seeing the trailer for the gameplay, and I was just cackling. I saw the graphical style. I was like, this looks horrendous.
I played in the closed beta, and I'm not sure if I've already said this on Spine Chill or not, but it literally plays like a Roblox mode. It plays like a fan mod or something. Like it.
I need to play it.
It's been over a year since then, but I just remember playing it. I played 2 rounds of it, and I was like, this is no good.
but that's been a year. It's like been a year now, isn't it? So.
Right, because it was going to come out, and then they were like, nah, it's not coming out anymore. So maybe they've completely revamped it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember being very, very just not having it about Reverse.
I apologize for resurfacing those memories for you, John.
It's okay.
Trying to make a joke.
Well, leave it to Gary and I to take something and fucking run with it like that.
Yeah, we take fun seriously.
Resident Evil Resistance was an important. Like I loved that game. That was good. A good game.
I wish I played it. Honestly,
it was very unique.
Yeah.
Resistance. Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, you could still play Resistance.
Yeah, it's you can still play it.
You're just gonna be playing against the same like 4 to 8 players, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played nothing but that since it came out, so I'm sure that'll be a good new player experience. Huh?
Exactly.
But rather than talking about a dead game, Resistance, or a soon-to-be dead game, Reverse, why don't we talk about a new game called Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed?
Are we already there? Oh wait, did we have some Evil Dead to talk about?
I think we'll do that at the end, right? I think that would be a nice little.
You want to rap with Evil Dead? It's not a lot of information, so we can.
Yeah, we gotta leave Tony on the hook until then.
True.
He's gonna be waiting.
Yeah, absolutely, bated breath
for the Evil Dead news. Okay, yeah, let's. Sorry, go ahead, Doug.
He probably got the insider email too. I'm assuming. So.
But he still wants to hear his favorite asymmetrical horror podcast talk about it.
Yeah. From us.
So where would you like to start with Ghostbusters? Because there's quite a lot to it. It's quite different, but also kind of similar to Dead by Daylight in various ways.
Man, I feel like it's almost like a cross between DBD, but like for some reason, and call me crazy, Gary, but it gives me heavy Friday the 13th vibes in like the sense of like, I knew you were going to.
I'm going to call you crazy,
but it's because it just feels less like serious. It feels more like kind of it's a sweatier game. It's a try. Like people are trying, they're trying to win. but it like feels more whimsical and like kind of silly.
I will, because I'm currently like doing a YouTube video on it. It's taking me ages, but like I'm dissecting it, and I'll agree with you. Like it feels really well designed for a casual audience, but there is a competitive edge to it. Like I love that about it.
And I know that you guys maybe didn't have the same experience as Friday the 13th. I played straight from launch, and I was like, I played like 1,000 hours. Like I think the first game
John loves it quite a lot as well. I'm the naysayer here. I didn't really care for Friday the 13th.
It's like the first game I streamed like full time, and the voice chat and just like the way the community kind of self-policed, like Sweat and being memey and stuff. Like it just felt like a very fun game, like very whimsical game. People weren't really all that like. They didn't care that much. They weren't taking it seriously, just having a really good time. And I guess maybe that's the vibe that I get with Ghostbusters. Maybe less. It's not the gameplay, obviously, because I would say, if anything, Ghostbusters more tracks with VHS in the sense that it's like a PvP game. Like, because because the hunters are hunting the ghost, and the ghost can also hunt the hunters. Like, you can fight back, and you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can play very aggressive in Ghostbusters. I would love to hear you're giving me counterpoint vibes, and I want to know why now.
John, do you want to go, John?
I was just gonna say, could we? Would you guys mind if I did like a little synopsis?
Yes,
just for people that
that'd be
aren't
perfect.
familiar?
You should intro it because you're the intro
and Doug
guy.
have played
we talked
the shit
because I know
out of it.
y'all are going straight into
Yeah, the problem is that John is the newer. He played it. You played what? You're going to talk about it, but like you're kind of the new player experience, and Gary and I are already sweaty, and we just played it a million hours.
So these two, Gary and Doug, are like what, level 70-ish? Both of you?
I'm 77. I think Doug, you're 55.
Okay. But at least
you know Gary. You know
Gary knows. Gary knows.
He knows how many more.
I've never been sweatier in a video game than Doug.
And I will savor it. You better stay ahead, Gary, because it's not
I got
gonna
4 days.
last long.
I had to take 4 days off for Light in the Fog, Gary, and I'm gonna be live in about 10 hours.
I took those 4 days off as well. So
okay.
But the point is,
John, please.
Y'all are both like level 50 plus in the first week of launch, so y'all played it a lot. I played it for about 4 hours. I want to say I'm level 20 or maybe not even that. So
I would be surprised.
I haven't. Okay. You get one more comment, Gary. You get one more, so savor it. We're going to start doing this with you. But yeah, for anyone else out there who's not really familiar with Ghostbusters, it just came out this past week. And it's a 1v4 asymmetrical horror game, which is why we're talking about it. One person plays as the ghost, and the other 4 play as busters. The buster's job is to capture the ghost in little traps that they can throw down, and they use the beams to pull it into the trap. The ghost's job is to haunt the building and to not get caught, basically. So you spend a lot of time as ghost running away from busters, or like possessing objects and hiding, or spooking civilians that are in the building, haunting objects, just creating general mischief. And it's the buster's job to track you down, find you, and capture you in the traps. Now, as Ghost, you have 3, are they called portals? Is that what they're called? Rifts, okay. You have 3 rifts, and they function as extra lives. So if you get caught once as Ghost, it's not over. You respawn at one of your rifts. If all 3 of your rifts go down, though, and the rifts are hidden in objects around the map that the busters can detect and destroy, then if you get caught, it's game over. So your job as Ghost is to try to haunt the entire building until a countdown begins and not get caught until then. So that's the basic gameplay loop of things. Let me know if I missed anything.
No, that's pretty much perfect.
Okay.
So what I was going to say is, I don't see it that similarly to VHS. I think visually, they've got they've both got an exaggerated stylized look to them, and they strike me as, quite friendly to a wider audience visually, even though VHS is hyper competitive, so it's not actually that friendly. But like I think it's surprising. It's like a mirror image of Dead by Daylight for me, because rather than 4 survivors evading 1 killer, you've got 1 ghost evading 4 busters, which are in first. I know Doug's shaking his head profusely.
For our audio only listeners, Doug is shaking his head in disappointment right now.
But the 4 busters are in first person perspective, much like the killer is in Dead by Daylight, and they hunt down the third person perspective ghost, much like a survivor is in Dead by Daylight. And there's a there is a chase mechanic. There is a looping system to the game, a lot more than I think there is in VHS, which is a much more combat heavy game. I think Ghostbusters is much more about evasion, using your environment to get away, get distance, which I really like about the game. Like, I think it's fantastic.
So
Doug, you seem very...
What Gary's telling me is that he plays Ghostbusters like a nerd, and you don't play hyper aggressive like the killer main in the group plays, where I savor every interaction. Because you realize, right, the haunting mechanic that John touched on. You know, there are multiple ways to haunt, to grow your haunt bar.
Downing,
you can haunt. You can
Downing
haunt.
Busters is a way of doing
that.
Yeah,
you can. Sliming and downing all adds to your haunt bars. I got a haunt bar today to 75% in like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game because I got an entire room haunted, and then I downed the entire team with my ult while they were trying to do my rift. Grabbed the rift, yoinked it, came back, down 2 more, and left again. It was a 75%.
And I'll concede, if you play a aggressive style, that works against bad teams that aren't prepared for you. Anyone who's shooting at a rift and not ready to put you straight into a trap and doesn't have their traps at doorways, they're not sweating for a win. But you have to pick and fight, your battles in Ghostbusters, and a lot of the time evasion is the best way to win.
Maybe
especially against better teams. And it also depends on which Ghost you're playing, which we can talk about a bit, because I think, for example, the Basher, which I know you're not a fan of, Doug, that's probably the best one to be hyper aggressive with.
Disagree strongly.
It's okay to be wrong. Because the Basher is designed to be very melee. You jump in, you just start swinging. Their unique ability for the is it called Lunk? The first variant. There's a big smash down. Like, that's really effective at like destroying teams. Whereas you've got other ones
2 feet away.
But whereas you've got other ones which are a lot more effective at like distance poking. Like, my favorite is the Gnasher, which is the Poltergeist second variant. That's like really good at poking down people. Or you've got Slimer, who's really good at taking down ones individually. Like, they've all got different strengths in situations. Some of them are much better at taking down lots of people. Some are better at just poking people down, which I really like about the game. I think it's quite interesting in that sense.
I'll concede to you that Basher. I know Basher's designed to be the aggressive ghost, but in my experience with him, because I've already maxed out Slimer, and Slimer is my main right now. He's got that whole, like you said, you can just delete somebody instantly, and so you can dive a group and down somebody and get out, because he's also really fast and really good at evading, right? So you can go in, drop someone quick and get out, and like just play this hit and run play style where they're constantly having to pick a dude up and reset and get reset out, and like you can just kind of go out and kind of do your thing back and forth. He's really, really strong. Which is
another great strength of the game. It's a bit like DVD, where there's certain killers that certain players are going to like more. Like I like the ghoulie. Is that the ghoulie? Like there's the Drake, which is really good at possessing people and like humans and fearing them up, and then there's the Wraith variant, which is very strong at taking civilians down as well, making them run out, and he's very powerful. Or I like the poke ones, like the Poltergeist, whereas you're more, I want to take down everyone and just be aggressive, which you can be aggressive all of them, but some of them are better than others.
So there's 5 different ghost variants, is that correct?
Yeah, there's five ghost types, and then each of them have, the Ectoplast, which is the standard one.
That's the starter ghost, right?
Yeah, that has 4 because it has Slimer as well, but the rest have 3.
Yeah. Oh, so the Slimer is a variant of the Ectoplast,
which has a
starter
ghost?
Yeah, it's like the starter ghost,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Again, I think it's really cool how they've done it, where they're basically, their base kit is the same, and they just have one unique ability between them. And so you, again, like Gary said, you can kind of pick and choose. You can even play a specific type, like Basher is designed to be an aggressive ghost, right? You can play him, but have like, do you want to have like a ranged attack for your special thing? Do you want to have area of effect attack, or do you want to have like a more direct like melee attack? Like, it's kind of cool the way they've done it, to where there's enough variance to like pick and choose what you want to play, but also not like a nightmare to try and balance around, because you're not talking about DVD with its 150 perks. You're talking about,
they all share the same ult, and then every single ghost can spit out minions.
Okay, so there's 3 abilities, right? There's the minion ability, which you can just throw out little minions to distract the busters.
I think it's 4 or 5 that spawn, but little ghosts that go around and scare people and get in the way.
Yeah. And then there's your ult, which is specific for each of the 5 ghosts.
Yeah,
and then the third ability, and that's what it changes with the variant.
Yes, that's the
right?
unique. Yes, that's the unique one. They all
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say,
it's literally called the unique ability.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's really simple to understand.
Cool.
Yeah. Doug, did you? Oh,
I had a quick question because I didn't get to play a whole lot of Ghost. In fact, most of the time when I played Ghost, it was with our team of 4 that we had when we played, which we're all trying to be busters, but the Ghostbusters game has a thing where even if you queue up saying I want to be Buster, it can put you as Ghost. So my first match was as Buster, and then my second and third matches were as Ghost, and I had no idea what I was doing because I hadn't done the Ghost tutorial yet.
Yeah, because you have to unlock that at level 10. But
yeah,
just like,
but
doesn't matter.
If you're
playing
10,
Ghost.
you play Ghost, yeah. So I didn't get to play Ghost a whole lot, but you have a Ghost, like you have a haunt meter that goes from 0 to 100. And I know that you can get it to go up by floating around and spooking civilians, and trying to get them to get so scared they leave the building. You can also get it to go up by damaging the busters or downing them or slamming them. And you can also get it by like haunting objects, right?
Yes.
So what gives the most haunt on the meter, and what do you think is the most effective way to gain haunt, and what's kind of a waste of time, or is it all pretty balanced?
I would suggest the best way is to haunt areas.
Yeah,
like the quickest will be downing people. Like if you can down all 4 of them, that's amazing, but it's risky. But if you can haunt up an area, like get like a whole set of objects floating, stay in that room with them, keep haunting it. You can get a room really quickly if the busters don't come there quick enough. You can get one.
Yeah. Getting a room is like I think it's the biggest return by far, right?
Yeah, you get like 25% bump immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then scaring people out can be a cheap way of getting them. But I find it better to get them freaked out so that you can chase them out at the end. Because they cost 5 seconds each, I think, when they run out at the end game.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sweaty.
That's the thing is, again, because I play so much Slimer, he's so good at juking. Like even if I lose my riffs by playing like really aggressive, I don't usually worry.
Most of the time your riffs go pretty quick anyway, because busters people start to figure out where they are and how
they've already got the static spawns figured out. There was a couple games I was in where it was like literally they started 3 riffs at once at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, we're already doing this, guys. It's been out for a week.
But balance wise,
I won that game by the way. But
because that's the nice thing. Balance wise, you can lose all 3 of your riffs immediately, and it doesn't make it. You can still be like, well, I'm gonna win.
They gotta catch you, Gary.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't kill the ghost without them catching you. So if they can't catch you, you can have the riffs. I don't mind. You gotta catch me, bud.
So to bring my casual perspective in it, that is one criticism I had of the game, is that I found the pacing to be a little whack in that sense, because I had a lot of games even early on, and like the first couple days when there's tons of new players, where the pacing of the match as Buster would be like, we find the first rift, we find the second rift, we find the third rift, maybe we even get a ghost capture in between there, and we get rid of one that way. And we'll look up at the haunt meter and we're like, oh, it's at 20%, 25%. We've got all 3 rifts done. This will be great. Now we just need to catch the ghost. And then we spend the next 5 to 7 minutes or whatever it is watching the haunt meter slowly go up, being like, where the hell is he? And then you find them, but then they're just running away.
Well, this is what happens. Like if you can get the 3 riffs quickly, you immediately tell the ghost to play differently, and they will go, I need to be very stealthy and not be seen, really.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing too, that this kind of harkens back to what we've talked about with Evil Dead, is like, it's when you're a level 1 Ghostbuster and you're a level 30 Ghostbuster, you have a lot of different tools available. And
I believe it.
Some of the when you level up some of the Buster tools, there is not going to be any hiding. The goggles are insane. Like
the goggles are really good.
There's just a lot of really good tracking and really good like it's gonna unfortunately you're kind of paywall behind leveling up more before you get some tools that'll help you to kind of counterplay that. But again, as we've talked about, it's balanced in a way that you can kind of set your Buster up to be like more aggressive and like more focused on having a faster trap and better tethers, so you can get them trapped easier, or you can be like a searcher where you have like better EKG and whatnot. But go ahead, Gary.
I was gonna say, and it also kind of relies on how you like, if your team's all running together chasing after the ghost, you're never gonna catch them. You need people to split off. Like, and that's the main thing I do. Like, I try and if they're downstairs on, because there's always 2 floors to every level, I try and get above, and then I can like drop down and surprise box, zap, and catch them.
Yeah.
I had a team today that was just gonna say, like, I was like, they're already starting to do it, where I went into a room and there was a dude at the door and a dude at the other door, and I'm like, it's fine, I'll go through that door, and a dude dropped down from above, like, bam, he dropped on me, and I was like 3 on. It was like, oh my god, I just got pinched. Like,
and and those situations where you want your ult to like a get out of jail free card or.
Well, can I talk about the ult, or are we gonna talk about that later? Because
we can talk about the ults. You can.
That's one of my major complaints of the game, is that the ults are, for what you get out of the ult, which is only gonna be one team, at best one team down or one escape. The cooldown is so long, and it's
really
so
long.
easy, and it's so easy to interrupt it. Like, they tether you, it ends, and the cooldown goes.
Yeah.
So like you have to like, the only time you can use your ult is if you're like 99% sure you can't get tethered and you're gonna get value out of it. And then it refreshes every time you get captured, right?
The only reliable, I think it does refresh. Yeah, the only reliable ult is the ectoplast. So if you're Slimer or Winky or the other ones, like, that's a reliable ult.
I don't consider it reliable. I've been stunned out of it so many times with tether.
Oh, see, like, I've been all right with that. There's the other ones, like the Poltergeist and the Howler, which we haven't spoken about at all because I think it's the worst one. But like, there's such a huge charge time to it that I very rarely get it off. It's basically they're not paying any attention. I get my ults off. It's usually when they're doing a rift and I sneak up behind them and go, boom, right, taking my rift now. Bye.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't mind it so much on ectoplastic, because like, it's, even if you miss or you don't do well with it, you can get back out. But like the Basher's ult, where you like dive in,
that one's terrible.
Yeah, and then you're just in there now. So if you don't down everybody, you're dead probably. Like,
you're in a real bad spot. I will say the Basher's ult sucks.
You're big and slow, and you have to get away now. And they're like, okay, so
and good teams don't all stand together.
No, you're not gonna. The most I've ever down with Basher ult is 2 at once, and even then, 2 good busters can potentially put you in a box.
Yeah, because I've tried using the ult, and like the problem is, good teams, you'll have 2 people like doing the rift and 2 like on watch.
Yeah.
So you can't get it.
They literally will put them on either door.
Each door, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's cool though. I love it because I love because when I see it as a ghost, I'm like, I can't protect that rift, but I can go haunt things. I can counter this by getting a dangerous, awful room extra haunted.
Or do you ever go and find one of the other rifts and like do a really good job hiding it, moving it around?
Yeah,
and stuff?
I really like
before.
I really like the boat level. Oh no, is it a cruiser?
Cruise ship?
Yeah, the cruise ship one. Yeah.
With the Paddington Bears, dude.
Yes, yeah. I really like. There's like a
corner
corner in like the concert hall room sort of thing. That corner, they never check it.
If you stick the book there, it kind of blends in.
Yeah. So I just dump it there. I'm like, well, that one's safe.
Yeah. They don't check there, and then also it blends in, so if they see it they won't notice it when they're walking through. I've done the same exact spot, Gary. We're so smart.
So let me ask you, smart
/ sweaty.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
We're talking about how casual the game is. We're like, I found this excellent spot that they can't find it.
Have you noticed,
stupid idiots,
a big difference between people that are like clearly a 4-stack and the solo queue experience? Like, how much of a gap is there? Because you guys are talking about a lot about how coordinated the busters have to be. 2 on the rift and then 2 on lookout, or like if they're chasing the ghosts, like they got to cut them off. Somewhere down the line.
You're against a good team, it's like DVD, and you know,
right?
You just realize very quickly, like, oh, I have to be really cautious here.
The reason I'm asking is I'm wondering how solo queue friendly this game is. Which I imagine if you queue up as ghost, sometimes you don't get ghost, and you have to play as buster solo, right? So like, how easy is it to, as a solo buster, like go into the like meld in with the rest of the team? And
I would say I think there is, because I've only exclusively replayed it solo since that one day, the day of release when we played it together.
Yeah.
And I've done well. Like, I think because your 3 teammates can be as bad as anything, and they just chase it around, and you can be the pincer. You can be the person that adapts to how they're playing. So I don't think it's unplayable, because like, I most of the time when they're like chasing around like idiots, I'm like, what are they doing? I'll just drop down and throw my box down, and be like, it's caught.
Yeah. The
amount of times I enter, like, because matchmaking's weird, and every time you want to play Ghost, it goes, well, play Buster first for
Yeah.
for a round. It's really annoying.
It's like
but I usually jump in there and go, okay, well, catch it. Can I move on now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they've tweaked the matchmaker since, because the day one I was getting stuck on Buster constantly, even though I had myself set as Ghost preference, and then now doesn't it feel like it has like Buster tax where like you have to play one Buster round and then you can play Ghost? Like they kind of force you into it. And I would say, and again, the game's like the matchmaker is fast and the pacing is so like the game ends and boom, you're in another game so quick.
Yeah.
And so I'm streaming it, right? So I have
Sometimes
to get
too
water.
quick. Sometimes too
yeah,
quick.
that's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, I'll sometimes like you'll get rolling in a Ghost lobby where you're playing Ghost after Ghost after Ghost. It's fire, right? But then like I gotta pee. I
would like a 30-second middle ground. This is something that I'm actually gonna talk about in my YouTube video, where like I want one of the things that I really like about Dead by Daylight is every round you get a different killer, survivors that bring different perks, all that kind of stuff. I would like a little bit of time because to change Ghosted Ghostbusters, you have to back out of the lobby, go to the book, change which one's set. I would rather I could just go click, because like if I'm in matchmaking, you're often playing the same team over and over again. I want to be able to go, well, let's curveball them. I'm going to change to Slimer now. I'm gonna change 100%. Over to being the Basher, and like and that element's so good in Dead by Daylight that to change not have that uncertainty in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I did notice that when I was playing. I did get a little annoyed too because it's so quick at the end of the match that they have all these stats that come up, including like whether or not you leveled up some of your Buster weapons if you play Buster, or you can look at all this stuff. But it's like you have about 8 seconds to read it before you're automatically just thrown to the next match.
Yeah. Oh, and that was what I was going to touch on too. Is like what Gary said. You got to back out to change your Buster, change your gear. You got to back out, change your Ghost, and then you got to re-enter the queue. And then so if you're a Buster or if you're a Ghost player, then you got to play another Buster game every time. Like 100% of the time, that's what it feels like it's doing.
So I think when you first search, it's trying to like when people DC, they're trying to help those games up with you. So they're like, here's someone who just wants to play now, so put them in there.
There have been more than a handful of times where they've put me in a lobby with a bot Ghost, my first Buster game, and I'm like, I'm a Ghost preference player. Why am I playing? There's something in their matchmaker that forces you to play one Buster game first. Yeah. But I will say, from my experience as a solo Buster, playing tremendous amount of hours, not as many as Gary, of course, but a lot.
You might have played more hours, just got less experience.
That's your one. You get one. You
gotta cut them off.
Yeah, you have to. But I probably feel like I'm winning somewhere around 50-50. I think some of my I go in as Buster, which I mean is more in a solo queue and an asym. I think 50-50 is a pretty reasonable hope, right? At this point.
Yeah.
So
I would say I think I win when I play Buster. It's kind of 50-50. When I play Ghost, I tend to win probably 70.
Yeah, I'd say pretty similar. I'd say. I probably think I'd win like 71-29. somewhere in that
impressive
range,
numbers, Doug.
I just don't think that solo Buster feels fruitless, but there can be some pretty bad.
Well, I will say,
there's
like,
also some pretty bad
if I lose as Buster, I don't mind it because I think the game does a fantastic job of making it feel rewarding because of the fungus that you can collect throughout the level just to kind of keep you busy. You get experience points just by using your tools. Calming down civilians. There's stuff to do.
Always something to do. Yeah.
You also can't die on first hook. Like, you can't like be out of the game. You're in the game for the entire game. You're always interacting with something, doing something. That's true. Like, right? Like when you play Buster, there really isn't. The only downtime is hide and seek, and if you have the tools, you can usually find something pretty easily.
That's true. This is one of the only asymmetricals that I can think of at the moment where all 5 players are there from the beginning till the end, unless they DC or something.
Yeah.
There's no like death mechanic. You can't just like kill one of the Busters and then it's a 3v1 for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Everyone has to play.
And I never like finish as a Buster and think, oh, that match was ruined because we lost. Like that doesn't faze me at all. And maybe a little bit as Ghost, like it's a little frustrating to lose because it's the one, but still, like,
I don't know, dude. When you got like a ghost and there's a dude on the stairs and you two tether and then the guy grabs him and starts pulling him up the stairs when the box is down here, that kind of does tilt me a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? It's an easy grab. Like,
that doesn't bother
I'm
me
way
as much,
sweatier than you though. I think I'm just.
Probably, yeah.
We could have won, and we could have won, and then we didn't.
That's when you wake up in a cold sweat thinking about this stair situation.
I will. I probably won't be able to sleep after the podcast. That guy on the stairs, man.
Yeah, I don't think the game frustrates me. Like,
it doesn't. It's like a passing frustration. It's
yeah, it's not like whereas DBD obviously affects people deep.
Well, I do want to ask because we're still, even today when we're recording this on Tuesday, October 25th, we're still in the first week of Ghostbusters release, right? Yeah. So we're still in that early era when there's a lot of new players and there's a lot of like huge pop, and we are going to see a decline, especially after Halloween for sure. Like it's going to start going down. How do you see the Ghostbusters experience changing when the population inevitably takes a dramatic decrease and you're left with the sweaties? The reason I ask is because like I remember playing Midnight Ghost Hunt, which I think is a pretty comparable game to Ghostbusters in a lot of ways, not all, but some. And I remember having a lot of fun with it early on, like in the first few days. I think we did a couple streams of it, but then I streamed it like I think 2 weeks later or something, and I had a terrible time.
Me and Doug are still heartbroken about losing that because we had so much fun playing that together, and it's just rubbish. But I will say, Ghostbusters, having gone against some really sweaty teams where I was outclassed as Ghost, I still enjoyed it. Like I still felt like I had a chance. I still felt like I could. And some of them I've won. I've won against really good squads, and it feels great.
Can I say something too? Like my favorite thing right now is that you usually will stay with the same team until somebody dips or until they dip. And so if you're the 4-man and you're the ghost, you get to run it back with a team that beats you. And you can be like, oh, I'm going to get them this time. And there was a team I played the other night. They were so good. And I was so close to getting them so many times. And like, it was like coming down to the wire. And then I finally beat them. And like, that is something you can never replicate in DVD, right? Because like you get that sweaty 4-man and I'll be like, man, I had a team the other night where I was like, God, I wish I would have been a different killer. Because I got a bad map. Wrong killer. I got dunked on, and I got 4 or 5 hooks. But I was like, dude, if I had the right setup, I could have won. And when you play, again, you can't change your loadout right now, but like you can play the game differently. And then again, like it feels like to me, it scratches an itch that I used to get like playing comp DVD, where like you play against really good players and you play over and over again, and you start to figure out. You learn more that way because these guys are good. They're going to punish your mistakes, so you're going to learn not to make those mistakes. And then when you finally pull it out, and like I had one team that came into my chat and they were like, dude, you got us finally. Like, and we're like, oh, what's up? And like we just kind of chatted. It was a unique experience I've never had in an ASIM before.
I had a lobby where there was clearly a few of us that all had no preference clicked. So it was swapping us out. So one person would play kid and they were really good and they would beat us, and then they would be a buster and I'd beat, and it was just so awesome. Like we didn't add each other or anything. Like but it was like a really nice experience to like have a round each and just play around with it. And I
get to play against them and then play with them. And then play against them again. Yeah.
I had the same thing. Yeah. I had that one of the teams that I played. I was rotating. One of their guys must have been a ghost preference too, because it was the same 4-man, but 2 of us were flip flopping. So I'd play ghost and then he would play ghost. And it was the same thing. Like we're like from enemies to bros. Like this, it was, I don't know. It was just, it's a unique. And again, when Friday the 13th came out, that was a super unique experience that maybe this is why I make the correlation or the connection, is because like it was something I'd never experienced before.
There's a feeling that it's rekindling in you rather than the game being similar. There's a similar feeling coming out.
And that's how I feel with Ghostbusters. Like it just gives me that feeling of like, it's just something I've never experienced in an ASIM before. It's like, that ability to play the same teams repeatedly until you get one, until you beat them, and like playing on the same team and flip flopping, but like it not being a bad thing.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. I have a lot of hope that as hard as they're going on socials, and again, it could just be because it's the holidays and they're just trying to sell their game that just came out. But like, I want to believe they're going to stay on top of it and keep it going, because I think
they have announced a couple of things. So they haven't given a roadmap yet, but they have said that there is going to be some free DLCs added. There's going to be free ghosts added, like new ghosts being added into the game. And honestly, that's all they've kind of said, which is exciting. But I really hope they also go further and say, and we're going to be making some charge DLC where we're going to ask you to pay for it, because that's what's going to keep the game alive. If there's money in it,
agreed,
if they've got a Bill Murray DLC that they're hiding away.
Oh my god, that'd be
imagine,
so good.
The game starts dragging a little bit, and then they're just like, well, guess what? Now you can play as Venkman. Venkman DLC, $4.99 right now.
Well, like, because they don't have to necessarily make it so you can play him. They can give you some more cosmetics to make you feel like Bill, but they can add more storyline stuff to it. Because actually, another thing that makes it quite unique to other asymmetrical games is it's got a single player campaign story. Well, not really a campaign, but like
Doug's shaking his head right now.
Well, because it is annoying. There is an annoying. Like I wish I could ignore it a little bit, because
if you could just
when you want to just play, it's
can I pay $10 more and not have to have a story in my horror ASIM, please? Like I don't want to listen to these people talk.
Like
I don't want to have an unskippable cutscene. I'll pay you more money.
I found it very charming, but if you do want to just play the game, when it goes, sorry to interrupt you playing the game, you have to go talk to this NPC upstairs for a bit now. It's like, no, I think I just want to play the game. Don't make me do the story if I don't want to. Like, let me engage with it when I want to, which is because that would be nicer. There is a little prize for doing it, but
that in Evil Dead, you had the option to play the single player campaign, which I did like half of it, and then got bored and went back to playing the multiplayer version.
Because it wasn't worth playing.
It's not good.
No, it's not worth. I didn't unlock all the characters because it wasn't worth doing the storyline.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is bad for the game, because it just makes me go, ugh.
Is this the part of the podcast where we say we should play some Evil Dead this week?
We should. I mean, you guys want to play right after? Oh no, never mind. We don't have time right after. We're recording on a weird day. I would play right after. I'm down.
We can play some, Doug.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I really like Ghostbusters. I think it's got legs. I think if they keep adding to it, and if they're transparent with what they're adding to the game, and they say like I just need them to be a bit more like, we're gonna keep supporting it. Because it's a license, I can see it being like, it's just one and done. I mean, the game's like £30, $35 or whatever it is. So,
yeah,
it's a steep price to get new players in.
I think it's like 30 on Epic Store, I'm pretty sure.
Something like that.
US.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on.
Yeah, I do think it's going to sell a lot of copies because of the holiday. And I do think that it's pretty casual friendly. Because again, we've touched on the fact that like, if you're a brand new player in DBD and you play Survivor for the first time, you're gonna have a terrible time. Like you're just gonna be dead, going down and chase, doing nothing, and then you're dead. Like that'll never happen to you in Ghostbusters. You have a world to explore, things you can do.
There's
stuff
AI. You can go against bots and learn the game. Yeah. Interestingly, you get the same amount of experience going against bots as well. I tested it.
Oh, that's what you did, Gary.
So again,
that's where the 70% win rate came from.
Well, no, I just realized that when you load up into a quick match and you go against bots, because I've gone into quick match and gone against 4 bots, which is very weird. But it still gives you all the AI. So I tested it just going, what if I make a private game? Does it still work exactly the same? And it does. You get the same amount of experience points.
I'm not ready to talk about bots right now, Gary. I'm sorry. We can talk about bots in this time.
You'll get your own back, Doug. You can go. You can beat the bots next time.
You can tell them if you want, Gary, but it's embarrassing.
I thought you already mentioned it.
No,
was that
before? I guess I have a big heart and I like to have a clear conscience. And right before we started recording the podcast, I played my last game and. This guy was like level 100 or 98 or something. He was really good, but he was with bot. He had 3 bots with him, and I did in fact lose to this team with 3 bots on it. And
that's just
like, y'all to know about it. So, apologize.
And this is why Doug is the guest.
That's why I haven't earned my permanent seat yet. Yeah, no. I do think that this game, and again, Gary, we can talk about it more off the air. We can talk about it more on the podcast later or now or whatever. But like, I would still draw more comparisons to VHS than DVD because of the ability to basically PvP back and forth. And again, what I've mentioned, like there is no way to die. There is no way to get tunneled or get camped out. Like you can't be taken out of the game. You can always play. And you always force interaction, even if that interaction is hide and go seek. But this is like the polar opposite of VHS in the casual, friendly new player experience.
That's why I would compare it to DVD more, because I think all the the people that are like, there's a portion of the DVD community that are getting kind of fed up with how it's feeling more and more competitive at times, and I think they'd be very at home playing Ghostbusters. Like VHS was not the game for them because it's designed for competitive. No. I think, and
that's what,
and DVD is a hide and seek game. So is Ghostbusters.
Not when you have good items, you can just find them forever. Like that's the thing. I'll die on the hill that it's the casual VHS. It's the casual PvP game.
I strongly disagree, but that's absolutely fine.
I mean,
I say strongly disagree. I mildly disagree.
DVD's far and away my favorite ASIM game at the moment. I couldn't really get into Ghostbusters myself, and I'm gonna give it another shot. I only played the first day, but I don't tend to like the hide and seek, the ultra hide and seek format of Ghostbusters and similar games to it, like Midnight Ghost Hunt, and what I guess early Prop Night, which we're gonna have to talk about Prop Night next week.
Back.
I guess.
Yeah, we have to.
Is that out? Is that out now?
Prop Night Reborn. It's out.
Yeah, the new killer comes out. What, the 25th?
Is this the possum looking thing?
Yeah. I think it comes out today. God, now I know what we're doing after the podcast.
Today.
I think. Let me check.
Let me check our research of the next episode.
I gotta tell my cousin to cancel their wedding. The new Prop Night update's out.
The Prop Night rework. Yeah, so for anyone that is listening and doesn't know, Prop Night just came out with a Reborn update where they've basically completely revamped the game for a second time, I believe. And they have a new killer, and I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that game
Reborn,
anymore.
like reboring. They took out bonking and farting.
Can I read it off? Like the patch is out.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So what they've added with the new Halloween update is 2 new killers. You've got the Possum and Maddie. They've added survivor abilities now. Every survivor has a unique ability. They added a progression system for each character with 86 perks. 86 perks in total? Are you kidding me?
86 what?
86 perks. Did they just make everything a perk day one?
Isn't there like hang on, is that 86 perks between killer and survivor?
It just says
it must be
86 perks total.
Because DVD has like 113. Isn't it 213 perks in total?
And that's over 6 years.
Yeah. 86 is low. That's too many.
Yeah. They've overhauled all the they overhauled all the maps. They have a new map called the Circus.
Right.
They've got killer events. I'm literally excited to try this. They've got a rank system.
Oh, Doug's happy then.
Bronze through diamond. I'm about to be a prop night.
Bronze through diamond. You can be a Diamond League prop night player.
I'll be a diamond. That'll be a clickbait title. They got achievements have been added. They have a complete UI revamp. They have prop.
Sorry,
yeah,
Gary.
I do love UI. That's what Gary gets excited about.
Now I'm going to become a prop night main for a day, so I can see the UI.
Yeah. They have a destruction mechanic to destroy props. They have a ragdoll mechanic, and last but not least, we've made significant enhancements to the game balance to improve your experience. I love the way they just put it right on the nose.
The Prop Night devs love writing their patch notes like that. Multiple huge game balance changes.
We did things to make it gooder.
Yeah. It's just like, just trust us. It's for your own good. The stuff that we changed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
This dropped at 10 a.m. I am going to play this as soon as possible.
Do you guys want?
I'm very excited.
Do you guys literally want to play it like after we're done with this?
Yeah,
because I'm down.
So down. I'm so down to check it out. Like this is awesome.
All right,
I'm so excited.
All right.
Well,
So should we rush through the Evil Dead segment or?
Evil Dead's new stuff. Bye.
Evil Dead. New cards. Okay, we'll see you guys later. No, do we really want to talk about?
We should talk about Evil Dead.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I think it comes out.
Yeah, it comes out in 2 days.
Did it already come out too?
Comes out in 2 days.
Yeah, so it'll be out before our next episode.
Yep.
So we kind of owe it to Romania to talk about it now before it's out.
So if you're listening to this or watching it, it'll probably be live by the time you hear or see this. So. Evil Dead.
So October 27th, new Evil Dead, the game update.
Wow.
Doug, you might be able to go into a bit more detail of this stuff because you're the Evil Dead dude.
Yeah, you want to just read it real quick? It's so basically
we could bullet point it. Yeah.
Yeah, Blacksmith is a new character coming from Army of Darkness.
Who looks cool. He looks so cool.
Looks so good, right? And I mean, we don't know what he is yet, but I would assume a warrior, right?
Probably, come on.
It's got to be a tank.
Although it's all kind of weird, because maybe he's leader. I don't know, because aren't they already like pretty heavy on warriors in the game? I mean, like
but it's like any DPS game, isn't it? Like League of Legends has like DPS characters, and
that's true. There's a new single player mission. with the it's called the Hail to the King update. So Castle Kendar's witch has opened a rift in time and space, and Henry the Red must put her to the sword to save mankind. So that sounds boring, and I
cannot wait to not ever go near it, because I probably can't anyway, because I haven't done the other storyline missions.
So they released a bunch of Army of Darkness cosmetics. So you got Ash's sellsword, Henry the Red's red pikeman, and Lord Arthur's rightful king outfits. And then lay down some medieval justice to the Kandarian demon and his minions. There's an Ash Halloween cosmetic.
The Devil Ash does look really sick as well. That's really nice.
Yeah. And then I got access to, because I pre-ordered the Savini Ash shirt and stuff. So I get a Savini Ash cosmetic as well. I have a little card here that I can use to cash in for the Savini Ash, because I never got my Savini Jason in Friday the 13th. So this kind of feels like, like redemption for that. I got Savini Ash and Evil Dead, so I'll never have to go to bed knowing that I'll never be Savinian. A Savini.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for you too, because that Savini Jason in Friday was so cool looking.
So busted too. Like the fact that they made it so overpowered. Like, oh god.
Oh, I know. I lost to it a couple times and I was salty.
Oh yeah. And you know how sweaty I am. I would have played it every time. And it's not my fault you didn't get in on the Kickstarter, guys. But of course I didn't get on the Kickstarter, so I was salty about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, sounds like So what it sounds like to me is like a kind of a little minor update to Evil Dead.
Yeah, mostly a cosmetic one, which is fine. The blacksmith's kind of exciting.
Whole new character too. That's not nothing.
Oh, no,
it's
just like here's the blacksmith, which is the most exciting part, but then it's like cosmetic, which is cool. Yeah. I like it. I'll play blacksmith. I'll be excited to play him. He looks cool.
Yeah, I think adding more cosmetics to the game is definitely a step in the right direction, because there's not that many at the moment, and it definitely is like a deficiency of the game. So
true.
Yeah.
Well, and then it just is encouraging to see them continuing to add new content, because we didn't get Plaguebringer that long ago, right? Like Plaguebringer, the 2013 update was what, month and a half? I think it was just before
two or so
I feel like.
Yeah,
it was just before TwitchCon.
I would ideally like to see. Honestly, what I think the game needs is more maps. Personally, I think maps should be the best thing they could start.
Although I've revisited the game enough to say I do think that the new map they released, the Army of Darkness map, the Castle Kandar, really I think that's one of the best maps. It's like the best map in the game. It feels really balanced. It's not super huge. Like the OG maps that launched were just so big.
Yeah, I would like to see some more map size, but I think that'd be nice. Like I like that when I play Dead by Daylight. When you get a map, you're like, oh, this is a survivor side. Oh, this is a killer side. Oh, this is a fairly balanced map. Mm-hmm. I want to see that more with Evil Dead. I mean, one of the nice things about DVDs, the first moment is going, oh no, it's Midwich when you're playing Survivor, or like, no, it's Mon's Dwelling.
These days, I'm like, oh no, Midwich, no matter what, because of that bugged hook and the horrible hook spawns on Midwich. God.
But like, it's nice to have that moment. So.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
This was another great season of Spine Chill, and
I think so.
Thank you everyone for tuning into the season 7
I think you're going to say sitting through it.
Thanks for sitting through it.
You made it.
You made it to the end.
You win.
And next week we'll have to come back and give our thoughts on Prop Night Reborn. And
I'm very excited to do that. Yeah. I'm going to be so upset because I can't bonk and fart in it. So,
wasn't there something else we were going to talk about next week, or like that we were planning on, like another ASIM we were planning on checking out? I can't remember. Probably not. I guess.
If we've forgotten about it,
it doesn't matter.
It can't be that. Oh, Reverse.
Yeah. We'll have a little tiny reverse bashing session.
We might reverse that decision.
Oh. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it, so you guys can play it and tell me what it was like.
Dude, don't you already have it? Did you not get Resident Evil 8?
Right?
I didn't buy the Village.
You didn't? Have you not played it?
No, I'm a multiplayer gamer, dude.
Reverse is a multiplayer game, Doug. You're gonna have to play Village.
I know.
You'll love it.
I very infrequently play single. I'm gonna play Scorn on Halloween. I'm excited about that. The last single player game I played before that, I didn't even finish Mortuary Assistant. I got through like 3/4.
Oh my god, I was about to get the last ending, but I got the wrong body. Because they both had marks. I had to 50-50 guess, and it was the wrong one.
Oh.
So close on the final ending. I have to do it.
My particular brand of neurodivergence, ADHD, like I have a very hard time staying focused on a single player game. Like if I don't one shot it, I don't come back to it.
You could one shot Resident Evil 8.
Well, I mean, I can stay up for 2 days straight. I can pretty much one shot any game that's out. That's the horror genre. I just have to commit to doing it. That's what I'm going to do.
I think you would thoroughly enjoy Resident Evil 8.
Do I need to play? Like, I haven't played Resident Evil since Resident Evil 5.
I didn't play 7 before I played 8, and I loved it.
I own 7. Somebody gifted it to me.
You can play 7 as well. 7's really good. Like,
7's really
throwing
good.
money in the bin because I haven't touched it.
7 and 8
play
are
7
both
and 8.
very good. Like, legitimately some of the best video games in the past few years.
Okay.
So
I'll think about it, but I'm having a lot of fun with Ghostbusters, and now there's a prop night update, so we'll see what happens.
All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in or sitting through season 7 and
putting up with us.
Signing off. I'm John Wolf here with my co-host Gary the Hot.
Bye. We didn't really talk about that.
Oh yeah, we didn't. That's okay.
Yeah.
Refer to Gary as the Hot or Cross now, please.
If they know, they know.
They know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, yeah, you know.
And Doug Running Man, as always.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Yet again. Hopefully, crossing my fingers about the application for season 8.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
It's been mostly a pleasure, Doug.
We'll talk more about Ghostbusters.
There's gonna be a bit of an argument.
Yeah.
We're being professional for the podcast, but as soon as we go off, it's gonna be like,
this is y'all being professional. Wow. All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.